I am being called into something more. You didn't start a business. You started a mission to guide others, people who are walking through what you did, people who are hurting the way you used to hurt, people who need someone like you to show them a way forward. You didn't start this to chase visibility or prove yourself with your content. You started this to lead people, to serve people, and to use your story, which includes your scars and your strength, to become a lifeline for someone else. Look, that's the part of you that we are waking up again today. That's the voice that we're trying to help you reclaim. Because once you realize this, then you embrace this idea that, yes, Bob, you're right. My content is my leadership. Because content is the number one way that we get to connect with other people. And the thing that I want you to realize is every single word that you speak through your posts is either reinforcing the trust that you want or it is eroding it. Every post is either helping someone believe or pushing them further away. And that's why what we're about to do matters. Because your content doesn't need to prove anything anymore. It just has to reflect what's already true. And that's where we let our story begin to speak. And we're showing you how to use AI not as a shortcut, but as a mirror to help you pull out what matters the most, the proof of what you believe, what you've lived, and what you've walked through, the proof that you are love-led. And when your content comes from that place, man, it hits differently. It doesn't need hype. It doesn't need fancy graphics. And here's the secret. It doesn't even have to happen every day. Wait, what? Oh, we'll talk more about that in the fourth session. But here's the reason why. Belief speaks way louder than branding. And leadership isn't about being louder. It's about finally being felt. So let's show you how we're going to do that for you. I'm going to introduce you when we talk about activating and we talk about actually executing posts. I'm going to introduce you to our content system. So we call it the love-led content journey. And it is a very, very different way to think about content. So, but before I show it to you, I want to share something that happened, something that just happened the other day, okay? Because I think this is really powerful when it comes to some of the things that we struggle with. There was a comment that came through on the video yesterday that I want to show you, and I want to actually address this because I think this would be powerful for us to do together. So Callie had a great question. She said, what if there's a solution that we offer that we haven't experienced personally? And let me ask you a question. How many of you have had a point in your business where you've struggled with this on some level, where you've kind of looked at your own story and your results and your belief was tied to that? See, this is an interesting question because to me, it is the perfect example of what the fear-led system does to us. It made us believe that if we haven't achieved the full transformation ourselves, that we're not qualified to talk about it. It made us question our own voice and our value and our right to lead. And because we've been taught to build a business on other people's success stories and on other people's results that are always bigger and better than ours, it just makes us feel even more like our story doesn't have a place. Look, I need you to hear something really clear, because when it comes to leading through your content, you have to realize that you don't lead because you've arrived. You lead because you have woken up. You lead because you believe something so deeply that you are willing to walk it and invite others to walk it with you, even if you haven't completed the journey yet. Look, you are not the hero of your story. You are the guide. And when your content reflects that, that's when trust grows. So what I am about to share with you is you taking people on a journey. So we call it our love-led content journey. And this is what it looks like. There are 4 different types of content that we teach. Every single one of these 4 different types it's designed to do 2 things. It's designed to build trust and belief. Trust and belief. Every single post you make should be doing those 2 things. So let's break down each of the 4 because each of them plays a special role in this process. So the first type of content, which we've already taught you, is service content. So service content, okay, is content that names your dream customer's problem, struggle, or desire, and serves them with value or insight before selling, right? So this is what we taught you yesterday. Here's what this builds trust in. Your understanding of them. And it makes people feel seen and heard and safe. And how it builds belief is this. It builds belief that I am able to help you. Part of that is because they feel like you understand what they're going through because you are able to speak to their problems in a way that most people can't. And because there's not a pitch, a product, a sale attached, that's what makes them want to lean in. And so service content is the start of the engine because that's how we start to get the attention of the people that actually need our help. That's the first type. Here's the second type. Oh, and actually, I'm going to show you a real life example because I want to make this very practical for you. Let me set this up first. So I want to show you a good example of a before and after of a service post, okay? So this is actually from a student of ours. She's one of our great success stories in this love-led journey. Her name is Stephanie Whitaker. And what I'm about to show you is going to be really interesting because Stephanie is somebody that's been a student of ours for a while. And in a coaching call, she was talking about how what she learned in this workshop yesterday actually helped her break through because she realized that she thought she was creating service content, but she really wasn't because she wasn't bringing enough of herself into her posts. She was still wearing the teacher mask, and she didn't understand that until this workshop. And I'm going to show you an actual example. Now, she is somebody that has been a student of ours, and she's been trying to do this. And to her credit, she's been having success, but she's realized there's more to do. So let me show you example 1. So this is an example of a post that Stephanie would make, right? You see these quite a bit, where it's kind of like offer value, educate, provide help. And so there's nothing inherently wrong with this post, right? Running low on energy, not feeling your best. Here's some things, blah, 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 tip, blah, blah, right? Lots of information, whatever, right? Okay. There's nothing wrong with this. But when you compare it to what I'm about to show you, you'll realize it's missing something important. And what it is, it's missing her voice. So this is the before, look at the after. And I highlighted some things on here that I felt were important. She made this post yesterday after the session. PSA for my mamas who feel like they're doing everything right, but they're still not seeing results. So that's an important differentiation. Here, talking to everyone. Here, she's talking to someone. Something as little as that makes a difference. But I love what she did here next. She says, I love Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, but here's the deal. Shopping at those places is not a weight loss strategy. What is that? That's a belief. That's a belief of hers. She's calling out something that is a widely accepted practice, saying, I don't believe in that. Now, when you look at that, there's none of that in here, right? So here, I'm starting to get to know not just how she helps, but what she believes and who she is. Here was important. So many women tell me I switched everything, but I still can't lose weight. So she's speaking more deeply to the problem. And then I outlined the last part. This was me for years, eating healthy, but not seeing or feeling the change.